Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Ask Elly Intuitive Insights and Your Questions Answered. Today is Wednesday, October 19th, 2022, and I have a full agenda for everybody here today. And I'm going to welcome everyone that's entering into the call in a few moments. I'd like to introduce myself right now for those people who are new, who have never heard the podcast. My name is Elly Molina. I am an intuitive, I'm a psychic, and I'm also an author, consultant, and educator. I am the creator of the Psy Kids Academy, which is a magical place where adults and their children can learn to tap their inner magic, raise their consciousness, develop their intuition. And if you haven't done so already, please head on over to www.psikidacademy.com and download your free 16-page guide titled What If? 6 Ways to Help Your Child Tap Their Inner Magic. And the beauty of this guide is that it is not for children alone. You know, we have all ages within us. Think of the nesting dolls. Every age is still within us. So we may be mature and chronologically old. However, that 5-year old, that 4-year old is still in us somewhere. So head on over. It's a really I'm going to let you know, it's a fabulous guide, and it will really help to open up your awareness and have you look at your daily life through different lenses. Okay, so without further ado, let's just talk about a little new things that have just popped up. Number one, tonight is the monthly session in the Midnight Portal. The Midnight Portal is my membership site. You can access the Midnight Portal through Thinkific, Thinkific, Psy Kids. So through the Psy Kids Academy on Thinkific, Thinkific.com, you will see the Midnight Portal. There's a free month trial. So, tonight's conversation is going to be an introduction to remote viewing. I will be teaching the protocol of what the remote viewers who worked for military intelligence back in the Stargate project and thereafter have been using. Anyone can join and come to the Midnight Portal. All you have to do is go to psykids.thinkific.com and then look for the Midnight Portal. Okay. Anyway, one more piece of information. I was the winner of a contest that I submitted to on for Amplify 2022. When I saw Lisa Nichols, the motivational speaker from The Secret, that she was the keynote, I really wanted to be a part of this conference. So there was a contest, and thank you to all of my listeners and people who follow me. I was able to win. And of course, they also responded by saying that they were really intrigued and loved my topic, which is quantum leaping your business to success. So if you're interested in the Amplify 2022 conference, tickets are free. And the best way to get them is to just email me at elly@ellymolina.com. This is all online, so you can watch it from the convenience of your home and see all of the wonderful speaker and the wonderful lineup that is available to everyone. And the conference is on January 26th and 27th. So good morning to the people that are live in the call right now. Guten Morgen, Thomas, and good morning, Deb, and good morning to everyone who listens in the future. So today's topic was going to be all about Göbekli Tepe, which is a very ancient historical site. However, due to the number of questions that came in the last 24 hours, I decided to take a detour, and we will talk about Göbekli Tepe and remote viewing on another podcast in the future. So just thanks for going down a different route with me this morning. First thing first is that I love to talk about astrology, even though I say to myself, oh, we are not going to be affected by the Mercury retrograde. We will pay attention to it, we will be aware of it. However, we will remain unaffected by the retrograde. It will just be something that appears, and we will move through it as if it weren't there. So that is my intention for the next couple of weeks. But today the sun enters Aquarius. And what I love about Aquarius is that it's quirky, in my opinion, and that odd things happen all the time to everybody. Only we don't notice them immediately, but we can say, oh, the odd thing happens a little bit later. However, it seems to be that when we are in Aquarius, when the sun is in Aquarius, it seems as if, doesn't mean this is true, it just seems as if odd things happen to everybody almost every single day. So pay attention to the odd things that, and what I mean by odd, is unusual occurrences, perhaps unusual synchronicities or coincidences. So just pay attention to the odd things that may be happening. Again, this is you bringing your awareness to a particular point in time and space, like the reticular activating system. I say, look at yellow cars, and you can all find yellow cars. I ask you, how many brown cars did you see in the meantime? And it's like, oh, I didn't see any brown cars because I was focused on yellow cars. And so, the same way that the reticular activating system works, look at Aquarius this month as bringing in oddities, but the oddities are happy. So start looking for happy occurrences, happy synchronicities, happy things that are quote unquote good luck opportunities. All right. The more you put your focus on that, obviously, the more you're going to see them and the more they will come into your life. So, one other thing that we've got going on over here astrologically is that on the 23rd of this month, which is Sunday, the sun will be conjunct Mercury, even though Mercury is retrograde, and crystal clear thinking becomes available. So if you have anything that you want to be writing or put out some speaking work, this is a great day to set yourself up with some time to do this kind of work. Fabulous day. All right. And then on the 24th, we have Mars entering Capricorn. So things are about to get quirky and serious at the same time. We know that Mars loves action. And in Capricorn, we also know that it is very grounded. And so the actions that we start doing during Capricorn will have a long term effect. And so it's going to be an interesting mix when you think about all kinds of quirky coincidences coming into your life. And then if you know how to stir your soup, you can turn these quirky coincidences, put them all into your stew, and really have a fabulous dish because of all the action that is grounded and wonderful in Capricorn. Of course, best to look at your own personal astrology chart to see where all of this action is taking place, which one of your houses, and then whichever house it is in, that is where you will find and discover the most activity. All right. So, without talking about astrology anymore for this week, let's head right on into a question that was asked, which is now going to bring me into the topic. I received a question, and it was the following. One day, I went to a store and I was paying the cashier, and she slid my credit card through the machine, and a name popped up on the register screen. It showed the card holder's name. And so the cashier addressed me as the name which was on the card, which had me look. And the name was the name of my niece. And my name is not even close. And my niece is also alive. She's also 7 years old. I felt like it meant something, but I cannot figure it out. Do you have any idea why that might have happened? It was a profound experience for me. Thank you. So um, this AV is not an uncommon experience, believe it or not. The thing is that many people don't pay attention to these. So if I don't like to ever tell anybody why they have these experiences. However, if we look at connecting the dots, you say that the experience was profound. So I'm going to invite you to look at, in what way was the experience profound? It may have been catalyst or the call for you to realize that there is much more in life than what we see with our eyes. It may be the opening of the portal for you into the spiritual realm, into higher consciousness, into higher awareness, into understanding that we can use our mind for much more than what we think we can, and that we are all connected. So, AV, I want to share a few stories that happen in some of my quantum leaping consulting business that will make sense and tie into what you're talking about. I had a client that I had been working with for a long time. There was substantial debt in the IRS system. And if the IRS is looking for this, I'm sorry, you guys had a glitch. And as much as I don't like talking about this on public, I am going to mention it. There was a glitch. And somehow, some way, numbers appeared um, for this client that were astronomical, just astronomical. And there was no reason why these astronomical figures had appeared in her statements. So she contacted the she contacted the people at the IRS, and they said, "Hey, no, look, this is in the system." And so we started, and it was like, "Well, how can this be in the system? I don't understand it. Can we find out?" So they went and started doing some history, and they justified why this was in the system. And then we started doing some quantum leaping work where we use our mind to influence and remote view things that other people think are pretty impossible. And so it was a real simple technique that we used, that she and I both used together. It's part of quantum influencing, remote influencing. And then the call came from her. Elly, you're not going to believe this. The amount that was asked for has disappeared. It is gone. I cannot explain it. It was there and now it is gone. It appears that there was a glitch in the system, and nobody emailed her to find out what had happened. As strangely as it appeared, so it disappeared. And that was never spoken about again. And that was just what it was. Now I had another, so that was sort of, that was like, okay, what does this mean for you? What are you going to do with this information? Are you going to realize how powerful you are and start to use this for good things that you want to manifest in your life? Or are you just going to knock this off as an everyday or unusual occurrence, and that it was just a fluke and it has no particular meaning? So the other client that I was working with was in network marketing. And this was also a very, very similar story to yours, AV. She had, in network marketing, people sign up clients underneath them or all of these things. And she was in an argument with another one of her people that she had originally signed up. And the person that she had signed up somebody else. Okay, it gets a little complicated. She signed up somebody else, and she was so angry at this that when she went to look at her sign up list and her downlines, that person that she wanted to sign up, but she didn't, appeared on her list as a person. And it was like that name just appeared there out of nowhere on her list, as if she had signed and registered that particular person. When she went back a day later, it was gone. We call these things glitch in the systems. Perhaps not. Perhaps it's the quantum field working its way, doing things, because you know that we are all connected. We are all connected energetically. And so, what the mind can put out there can be picked up. Just think about radio signals. This is the same way that our mind works. We transmit frequencies. So, This is just wonderful stuff. Now, I just want to, before I continue and move on to consciousness in this, I'm just getting a reply here that someone has. One of our listeners right now is just informing me and telling me, Ellie, this happened to me after working with you. Oh, great. I ended up with a huge check that had no idea why. And this is awesome. So, congratulations. That makes a wonderful testimonial. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Only we don't understand why. It just is. I worked with a client who was looking to have her green card sent to her and go for well, she's looking to get her green card and go for an interview. And turns out that the green card was sent to her after doing the work without the interview. Now you go find out how many times that has happened. And then she was afraid to go for the interview because she was afraid they would take her green card away. But when she went there, they said, no, look, whatever happened, it happened. You are the legitimate owner of this green card, and there's no interview necessary. Now, if you're an immigrant and you're looking to get, or if you're someone who's looking to get a green card, you know that this process is very difficult. And by all means, don't think that these results are typical or normal. I sound like a dieting commercial over here. These results are not normal. They're not typical, but they are. Well, I can't take that back. In the quantum leaping program that I do, these results are normal for the people who learn how to use these tools. Not everybody can use them. And I just say that because if you think about it, a person can teach you how to play piano and you can sit down and you can practice all week. But if you're not really practicing with a conscious awareness and your heart's not into it and your belief system isn't into the way that you're practicing, you know what? Your piece is not going to sound as good as the student who works diligently on that, practices every single day, understands why they're making mistakes, goes back and reflects on their errors. So again, that gets into self-awareness. And so the person who is highly self-aware in this work and has the tools to do this can achieve miracles, and they can achieve miracles overnight. And that is really the beauty of it. So that was a long question. I'm sorry, that was a long answer to your question, AV. But the point is that it is not unusual, and it's just that you paid attention to it. So if I were you, I would start, this is what I would do personally. I would start to look and see, okay, what is the universe? What is God? What is, if you want to call it your angels or your guides, whatever term you want to use, your higher self, your God, your angels, your universe looking to show you. It is obviously looking to show you something. And so the veil that has been covering perhaps your perception has now been poked and opened, and it is time for you to start to see these things. Okay, there was another comment about having. Oh, I got to backtrack. I did a podcast interview the other day with Jeff Mara, and he's on YouTube. And so that led to the podcast was on teaching psychic abilities to children and adults. And so questions have been coming in and comments have been coming in as a result of doing that podcast with Jeff. And dreams, people don't realize, for the majority of people, do not realize how dreams are an access to not only the subconscious, but to the others, let's call it the other side if you want to use that word. Dreams are one of the key points to getting into the work of let's call it working in the psychic intuitive realm, working in that realm of quantum physics, working in that supernatural extraordinary realm. Dreams are a vital key to getting in there. And um just want to share another comment that came in here. Thomas said, it was a lot of work to do this, and I had to believe. And in the beginning, it was the hardest part. So I didn't believe. And thank you, Thomas, for sharing that, because when we don't believe it's going to happen, guess what? Your belief systems are so strong that the universe can continue to give you sign upon sign, believe, believe, believe. And if you're negating them, you're just not going to see them. So, anybody who's here listening to this podcast is probably open to these signs. And I'm just going to tell you, allow them to do, allow them to influence your life. Okay. We have one more question. What made the difference for you? I can relate. For me, daily affirmations work. All right. What makes the difference for believing for people? That I cannot answer for Thomas, so he can type that in. Um, okay. Deb says, Ellie helped me to be way more aware of my self talk. Thanks, Deb. That is vital. And also just paying attention to what happens to us. So I want to circle back now to dreams. Dreams give us access to the subconscious mind. Dreams are like keys. When you learn to understand your dreams, you will have access to what is going on in the subconscious. You will be able to navigate what is either coming for you, what issues need to be resolved. It's a place to look. Again, just to pitch a little bit, I have a dream interpretation guide. The dream interpretation guide and a conversation on dreams is available for free in the Midnight Portal. If you do not want to access that information via the Midnight Portal, you can always go to Amazon.com, where there's a 99-cent Kindle version of my dream interpretation guide. And getting back to dreams now, AV, you said that you had many dreams as a child. These are important stepping stones. You have been provided access to moving forward in this level of higher dimensionality and spirituality. So again, this is a choice that you get to make. People can lead you somewhere, and the question becomes, will you go down that particular path and then become the light worker or become the influencer in your own community? Will you become the teacher? These are signs that are being sent to you, in my opinion. And so, again, with these signs coming in, this is really important to go look and pay attention to these dreams and to what has been transpiring in your life with this. So I do hope that that has helped you in terms of the dreams, AV. So just know that dreams are also key to higher awareness, more consciousness. Again, not to shrug them off and, oh, I had a weird dream last night. Sit down, analyze it, look at what's going on. If you don't know how to analyze it, learn how to analyze it. There are many tools available. As I said, I have tools available also. And there, if you don't use mine, use others, but learn how to analyze your dreams. It's really important. So now let's move into awareness. As the more conscious awareness that you have, meaning the more that you're paying attention to your surroundings and to the experiences that are happening in your life, you're going to see that it is all connected, as are the people, as are the TV shows that you're watching, as are the conversations that you're having. Everything is connected. We are all tapped in. Think of Avatar. It's true. We are all tapped into a universal consciousness. Either you pay attention to it or you don't. Many people think that the world revolves only around them. They are the sole they are the son of their own world. And when you have the perspective that you are the son of your own world and that things are always just happening to you in isolation, you have a very, unfortunately, I'm going to say this, you have a very limited perspective of the way that the world works. So everyone running around thinking that it's all about them and the world in there, that the world revolves around them. I'll give you an example. Oh, he didn't call me. He said he was going to call me at 12 o'clock and he didn't call me. And so the average human being goes into a story that they create about why this person hasn't called. Okay, well, in reality, perhaps that person didn't call because that person is the son of his own world. And being the son of your own world, you have your own experiences. Perhaps that person's phone was stolen. Perhaps that person lost his phone. Perhaps that person is in the emergency room or dealing with something of vital importance and could not get back to you in the time of your expectations. The more aware you become of this, that everyone is the son of their own world, and that our connection to them and to others does not mean that we have to start making everything mean something is about us. So, one of the best ways that I encourage my people that I work with, my clients, is when you're having that phenomena and somebody's not, doing something that you're expecting them to do, just tell yourself, you know what, they're not responding to me. And there's a perfectly good reason I haven't heard from them. That's all you have to say. There's a perfectly good reason I haven't heard from them, and it will reveal itself. And then go about doing your business. And that energy that is so negative, and that story that can get so negative, and that make believe thing, that energy can then be dissolved. Remember, everything is energy, as within, so without. So, the other thing that you want to pay attention to is the stories that you're telling yourself and your awareness. The more awareness you have about yourself and your self talk and the things that are happening in your life, the greater your consciousness can grow, the higher your consciousness can become, the more access you have into that other dimension, if you want to call it that, that spiritual realm where you can, quote unquote, I love this, make magic happen. What seems extraordinary for other people becomes your everyday world. It's not just about getting the green light in the parking spot. It is about changing so many things that other people tell you, oh, that could never happen. Oh, that could never happen. I had a client call me because someone said to her, your book is never going to get published, so don't even bother writing it. Someone told her that. And she called me and said, I went to a psychic, and the psychic said to me, don't bother writing your book. It's never going to get published. Okay. Now that to me is a super red flag. So what ended up happening is that she worked through this negative influence that she heard, because remember, we can never unhear anything. And that is crucial. You cannot unhear something. So when you say, you know what, I heard that, I'm not going to let it influence me. Haha, it does, especially if it's negative. And so we worked through that new belief system that, oh, don't bother writing your book. It's never going to get published. Anyway, her book not only was published, it was in the Wall Street Journal as a recommended read. And it appeared on, in the storefronts, Barnes and Noble in Midtown Manhattan. It was right up there and it was in view for everyone. So, whoever tells you you can't have what you want to pay attention to where this is coming from, and you want to decide if you're going to accept this as your own truth. So, the first place really to begin in all of this work is to start to look at your own experiences. Look at your experiences, because whatever happening to you, all right, passive, whatever's going on in your life, indirect object, guess who's responsible for it? You. It is happening to you because somewhere in your thinking, in your belief system, in your outlook and perspective on life, you set this into motion. So, with that being said, I don't mean to leave you hanging in this space of, oh my God, I'm having all of these problems in my life. You know what? No, that's a wonderful place to begin. Take a look at all the problems that you are having in your life, and then look at what it is that you're thinking about all those problems. What is it that you're saying to yourself about all of these problems? And what is it that you believe to be true about you with all these problems? So, There's an old quote, and everybody's said it. Many people have said it: change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Max Planck, who was I think he was the founder of quantum theory. Max Planck was the first person to say that. And then it did get picked up by Wayne Dyer and other spiritual teachers. But the point is that Max Planck knew from quantum physics that when you change the way you look at something, that thing changes. So, today has been remarkable. I welcome all of the new people who have entered into the live studio. If you missed any part of this podcast, you can catch it on YouTube, on iTunes, on Spotify, Podbean, everywhere. And if you have any questions or comments, or you have questions that you would like to submit, please send them to Elly at ellymolina.com, ELLYMOLINA. So thank you, everyone who's been here live today. Much love, many blessings. Look for the unusual odd signs that are going to be happening to you in the next few weeks. Pay attention, have fun, and share with me. You can join my Facebook group, which is Accessing Higher Consciousness and the New Episteme, and you can share your experiences, ask your questions, and be part of the conversation. Much love to everyone here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Many blessings. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye.